I'm Manouk Akopyan. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to our partners, personal injury attorney Nelson Gavorkian. How are you doing? How's your health? How's life treating you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm in God's hands, and he just keep on taking care of me and Donald Trump. You know what I mean? So, and he didn't save Donald Trump two times, for him to lose the election. And so he inspired me to write about the results of the election 2 days before the election was even had. And I put out that sheet with it in it, the election folks filled it verbatim, so I'll get you one of them too that was printed on the 4th. And the Calling Post and my papers and different.
We saw, we saw the video.
It was the most remarkable comeback in the history of America. And with Donald Trump in play, because he needs America and America needs him, and he keeps his word with fighting back. He don't lay down and roll over. This crooked, corrupt, rigged, sexist, racist system of the white ideology, that they use. And not all the Democrats, but that part of the Democrats, the system that does that, is what really puts America in jeopardy with the Biden administration, which gave nothing but weak leadership and lies, and said it wasn't going to leave no Americans in Afghanistan, and worked and 12 or 13 people got killed 2 weeks before the withdrawal, the troop withdrawal. They didn't even stop the withdrawal. Didn't ask no questions about no recourse about what happened. It's just horrible what is done. So to save America, to save American democracy and the great American people, the border control open invitation to those criminals that would strike out with criminal crimes against American people without recourse, with Biden and Kamala Harris,
And Don, I know you have a long storied history with Donald Trump, dating back to your days, of course, promoting fights at his hotels in Atlantic City. What is your relationship with Don like? What was it like working with him throughout the years, putting on some of the biggest fights with Mike Tyson?
It was fantastic. Donald is, I love Donald Trump because he loves the American people. And the one thing about him, he never surrenders. He never quits. He's in it to win it. He can't give in, and he won't give up. And so victory is America's, he says. And so he said before he had all the credentials of the white supremacists, the blonde, white, blue eyes, blonde hair, and rich. So we have everything going for him to do that. And he said possibly he would have been that, but when he met with all the fights and things he learned with me and the other people that would have meaning something to the family, he's changed his position and to the American people and to uphold and support the Constitution of the United States, one land indivisible with liberty and justice for all. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All of these things, they're governed by the consent of the governed. He adopted them, and he remains competent and sure, in trying to uphold them and support them. And so this is what the system is trying to destroy him, and indicted him unanimously on 34 counts, and then have 91 counts waiting. Anything that they do to him, anything is alleged that's speculated, any kind of conjecture, any accusation, all of them, he's guilty, he's guilty until proven innocent, you know what I mean? Not innocent until proven guilty. And so the man is, when we were in the fight game, he was a businessman. He is not a politician. He's learning, but what he's learning is he holds in disdain to see that these guys lie and misrepresents the people. And his presidential leadership is his genius. And leadership of being genius, and he really he really got me good when he turned bankruptcy into a business rather than jumping off the bridge like most people do and committing suicide. You know, and then I lost everything and I figured they bankrupt. Not him. You know, he flipped that coin and turned that bankruptcy thing into a business. You know, a successful business. So he's a genius. And so this is what makes me stand and support him, to the end, whatever it is. I love the man.
Your relationship goes back over 4 decades, predominantly with all the boxing events you put on. What are some of the great boxing memories you have with Donald Trump throughout the days?
Well, all of them, because you know what, they even named the street after me up there in New Jersey, through his auspices. Because the Tyson fights, were really terrific episodes historically. That's why they're playing them right now. They got the 58-year-old man going to be fighting on Saturday or Friday or whatever it is against an entertainer. You know what I mean? A guy that's fighting that had not regulated in fighting and never fought by the fighting rules. You know what I mean? And whatever it is to uphold or substantiate any of the organizations in boxing, like Trump did, so we find ourselves in a position where this man here stands up for what he believes in, and what he believes in is what is the truth, and the truth stands alone. You have your opinion, he has his opinion, they have their opinion, all of these different opinions, but the truth, the ones that collaborate and identify with the truth, that's the pen, that's what will hold. And none of their opinions do hold that. The truth still stands by itself alone. But the truth, not the falsehoods and the fake news and the bad propaganda made up through a rigged, corrupt, racist hypocrisy system that's been existing. And now, after 4 years of the Biden administration, that put us in a position of disdain throughout the world and made our word questionable, and where it was solid. And now we got Trump can restore that respect, that honor, that dignity, back to America again. And it was demonstrated in this last historic election that took place on November the 5th. It fulfilled the prophecy, and I prognosticated and wrote it on November the 4th. Before the election was ever before the election was ever held.
Right, and you promoted the Rumble in the Jungle, the Thrilla in Manila, but you presided over Mike Tyson's career. Is Mike Tyson the most enduring athlete you ever worked with? Is he the favorite fighter you ever worked with throughout your career?
No, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter, and one thing he's with me. He come to me. He said, "If I tell the truth," he said, "they won't give me no money." He's hungry for money because the amount of took him out of school, and really worked with him and took care of him. He said, "They won't give me no money, but if I tell a lie or agree with what they say about you, I can get some money." I said, "Get some money, champ. Get some money," because things he wasn't boxing then, and he was sort of semi-retired. But that's what it is. I could never say anything negative about Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson because anytime a man make as much money as I made with Mike Tyson and do the things that we did together to help the people, there's no way that I can come down and play the game that he plays, with the people like he's angry with me and that he, this and that and other and that. I took their money. He made more money with me than he made with anybody. You know what I mean? And he revolutionized the pay scale. But when you talk about the greatness of the fight, you got to go with the legendary Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Yeah, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. You know what I mean? That's Bodini Brown that would make up these ditties, to turn a switch off and get in the bed before the lights goes out, before the dark. That's how fast he was, And so it was, it's those things there. And Ali stood up for the people, and he stood up for a sentence of 5 years and faced going to jail to uphold his belief in his religious belief and his belief in standing up for the people and fighting for what is right. Muhammad Ali, and he's my first fighter. So he was just the greatest of all times.
How would you assess your relationship with Mike Tyson these days? Do you guys ever talk, keep in touch, send messages to each other? How would you describe it?
Well, listen, it's the same. It's the same with me, with him. Listen, he is a great fighter. They call him Iron Mike because he come to win. He has the attitude that Donald Trump and myself have: never surrender, never give in, don't give up, and don't quit. You know what I mean? And so he fights and he comes to fight. You know what I mean? So my relationship with him, I love the man. The man is. I have no problem with that. That nonsense that they perpetuate when they say he this and he goes along with all of that because he was able to get him some money. And as you can see, it's identifiable now that he's fighting this guy, whatever it's called, Jay Paul or whoever that is. But Jay Paul is not a boxer. Jay Paul is a fighter that's an entertainment fighter. You know what I mean? Because he got such a tremendous following. And so, hey, so they got him fighting this guy here, which I don't make no decision on no one or nothing because it's in two different categories. You know what I mean? It's in an atmosphere, you know what I mean, that is ironic, and that it goes into something that is non-existent, really. So hey, whatever it is. I have no opinion on that.
How do you think the fight's going to unfold?
I don't have no opinion on that. I don't have no opinion on that. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you, as a fight, there's no better fighter that would face anybody on any planet than with Mike Tyson. And in 58 years old, he'd be the oldest fighter that fought. But then a week or 2 weeks later, a guy named Oliver McCall, he will fight, and he's older than Tyson. So then he'll beat up Tyson, be the oldest. But they're playing the game, you know what I mean? So if good luck to them. Whatever they do, good luck to them. Everybody watch it because Jay Paul got such a tremendous following, and he's so many years younger. You know what I mean? To see what will or will not happen. You know what I mean? But it's two different categories. Oranges and apples. You know what I mean? And they don't mix. You know what I mean? So hey, we'll see what could be, would be, should be, how it would happen. You know what I mean? And the people get a good idea of what it's all about.
It sounds like you're rooting for Tyson. Is that correct?
I'm not rooting. Tyson is going because you stand on his own too. He stand on his own on guard. He's there. I don't know. I spoke to Jay Paul, but naturally, with Tyson, if I was being biased, it would be there. But it's two different world categories. I mean, but they all relate to one identification. Is the people, and the people are the most important. And so if the people are happy, I'm happy. You know what I mean? But the fight for the rights for their freedom and peace, their sovereignty. You know what I mean? Their independence. What we would work on. That's what that's what they exude to the world at large, because that's what we talk about, and that's what makes America so great. You know what I mean? To be able to deal with that democracy. You know what I mean? It's not there, but they're working at it. But this election that just transpired was historical and one of the most important elections in our lifetime. And the promises made is the promises kept. And what Trump had left Biden with as a border control was so fantastic. It's one of the best in the history of our country. You know what I mean? And Biden, with appointing Kamala Harris as the czar of the border control. It was simply ridiculous. He did not even visit the southern border for 3 years. You know what I mean? So it was ridiculous. And then at the end of time for the new election, and they want to get rid of Biden and put her in, now it comes back to Hunter. You know what I mean? So they're going to try to flip-flop to say that they want to get a safe border. They safe border was done supposedly on a humanitarian gesture. You know what I mean? Which our country was built on immigration. But the idea is immigrants. You know what I mean? So this is what he all tried to do. But if the people began to believe what Trump worked so hard throughout these 3 years, the 4 years that Biden is in, he worked as hard as he was working had he been president. And so he was a non-president that was a president in working, an active non-president. And so he did, you know, it's remarkable, you know what I mean? I'm so proud of him. And the American people are proud of him because they stood up and they didn't believe the false polls and the fake news, the fake propaganda. You know what I mean? They just said they're going to vote for Kamala, but when they went in the booth, they voted for Trump. You know, so because I told them, when you vote for Trump, you're voting for yourself. You know, and then when you vote for your children, you know what I mean, you're voting for your children and their children, which make their great-grandchildren. You know what I mean? You're voting for a better America. America that says they're governed by the consent of the governed. America that says one land, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America that says we hold this truth self-evident that all men are created equal. America that says we the people, you know, not we the party. You know what I mean? So it's the thing there, and I'm very proud of Trump. And when I put in the article before, well, I printed the results of the election before the election had taken place, and it demonstrated that the Lord, my God and Savior Jesus Christ, did not save Trump for to lose an election and to lose his genius of leadership to bring this country, you know, back to the forefront of respect and dignity, you know, and to remove the distortion of lies that Biden was doing, and the lies and the weakness, you know that he so ubiquitously put the country under. So we're you know the people spoke, and the people spoke loud, clear, and distinctively. You know, we want Trump, and so he's gonna keep those promises because we're gonna work with him together with the American people to support him and to support America. You know, and to be what America is supposed to be. That will be the reality of America is, and that's what we're fighting for now. So that's what we're working for.
Absolutely. And before you transitioned to Trump, you mentioned that, you know, Tyson and McCall and all these guys at this age, they're playing the game. What do you make of Tyson fighting at the age of 58? Are you happy to see that, or do you feel that's a little bit of a sad situation to begin with?
Well, you know Tyson it was something what we call in the vernacular of the ghetto, SKD, something kind of different, you know, all the way down the line. So therefore, whatever it is, you know what I mean, and, you know, I have no opinion on that, you know what I mean, other than he's acting normally, you know what I mean. So, you know, what anybody else would do, you know, they would think is incredible, even the question of being asked the question that you just asked, would be saying, wow, what is this? But not with Tyson, you know, Tyson, you know, everything goes, you know what I mean? So whatever it is, however it is, whenever it is, wherever it is, it's like he got in a fight with the people on the airplane, you know what I mean? And then all this, you know, so he's unpredictable, you know what I mean? And you can't figure out what he's going to do. And, you know, naturally, you know, it's very difficult to control him, you know what I mean, to try to do things the same. So he got a lot of things, issues and things that works with and identification with Trump and with myself. What we are working for, we're not controllable, and that's what I love about Trump. Trump fights back. But they treat him like a black man. They treat him like a black man. He's guilty of everything until proven innocent, and rather than innocent until proven guilty. And so, but they underestimated him, and so that's why they had to go and resolve relate to the supreme sacrifice of trying to assassinate him. But they forgot about the Almighty God, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Who used the grace of the grace of God to save this man from being killed in an assassinated plot to turn it into an attempted assassination. And so I'm just really there. But when you say about Tyson in a vocabulary of lesser sophistication, he deals with what people would do that don't have the education and the sophistication to do what things would normally be done according to our system of government and our system of what it would be to be educated. So you have to deal with what you in other words, you've got to pay the cost you dealt with.
Absolutely. And a few moments ago, Don, you mentioned all the money you guys made together, you and Tyson. By your estimation, how much money did you and Tyson make together during your heyday?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, if you can count your money, you ain't got none. So we didn't, it's like our money was countable. It was not like the ones that make their money infinitely. You know what I mean? Ain't no height, ain't no bottom. Ain't no river wide enough to declare and to put down the amount. So it's just what it is. What it is. You know what I mean? So for whatever it is, we made it and we set the tone for what was happening at the time, and distinctively louder and clearer than anyone else, and that was being able to deal with the circumstances and the situation.
And Don, you're famous for waving the flags, the American flags, the flags of your fighters that you walk into the ring with. As an Armenian myself, I'm really fascinated with your relationship with Kirk Kerkorian, the head of MGM back in the day. What would you describe your relationship like with Kirk Kerkorian?
It's a wonderful relationship, a relationship of RESPECT, respect, and with honor and dignity. And this is what the thing that Kirk Kerkorian stood out loud and above the clouds in the atmosphere. That a man of his word and a man of honor and dignity, and to demonstrate to the world that what your background, opinion, you're African or whatever it is, he dealt with the character of the heart and the mind, not with the color of the skin. And so he was, and the mind, whatever your mind would take, psychologically, and what you would do, and how you would recommit your efforts and your loyalty to others, to help others. So Kurt was just great because he sort of like adopted me because of my word to me, loyalty and your word is worth more than money. Your money comes and goes, but your word and your loyalty, it goes on forever following you. So that's why I don't break my word, and that's why I love Trump, because Trump keeps his word. He gets himself in more trouble by his own words than anyone else. You know what I mean? But it ain't gonna solve the problem for him because they hate him so much that everything that he enacted and executed in his presidency, the first thing that the Biden and his administration nullified. You know what I mean? Not working for the betterment of the people, the upward mobility and the elevation of the people, not for the unity and the solidarity and togetherness of the people, but just to be able to get rid of whatever Trump is, any symbols of what Trump may or may not do, and how he may or may not do it. This is what this administration brought to the fore. He would say things that would be melodramatic and would make you sound good, but he would act altogether contrary to what he was saying. So this is the difference between the two administrations. And so how people were, and that was a job I had to do. I should say we had to do in the Underground Railroad to bring the black vote that was given to the Democratic Party unhesitatingly and without anything given back. We didn't get what we wanted this time, but we'll get it next time. You know what I mean? And it will go on for decades. They've been given that same line, that unkept promise. You know what I mean? So Trump exposed all that. And to show you the power of that system, it manipulated and maneuvered him out of office. They got him out the White House. And so, but now by the actions and deeds of the administration of Biden and Kamala Harris, it illustrated and solidified itself what the corruption, and that everyone printing for like agree that we have a corrupt system, a rigged system, you know what I mean, and a sexist system, a racist system, fighting with gender and religion, and having people fighting among themselves rather than fighting with each other, fighting together for the betterment of mankind, which is what we're going to do in this forthcoming presidency that he is now president-elect of, might as well say president. You know what I mean? So he's ready to do his thing. He's announcing his cabinet now, and he's getting ready for what he knows is inevitable, a hard road to glory.
And with regard to Kirk Kerkorian, he built the MGM Grand Arena specifically for boxing fights. He was a boxer himself, a California fighter back in his heyday. They called him Rifle Right Kerkorian. How special was it for him to have your fights with Tyson at the MGM Grand? He was a very quiet man, never embraced the limelight. What were those conversations like? What was the relationship like? Any cool anecdotes and stories you would like to share with Kirk?
Well, with Kirk, it was smooth and developing, always upward mobility, working with people, and people were the most important. And so this is why I loved him, and he sort of like, was just really inured to me being what I worked hard to do is to hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal, and to deal with religion. Kurt was the guy who you ask the question in itself answers him, answers to what the kind of man is. A wonderful, wonderful man, and he dealt with people on the level of the content and character of their heart and mind, and he did it in a magnificent way, a humble way, to be as powerful and rich as he was. He still related to the least of them. And it's I can't find the words to describe it, the wonderment of a Kirk Kerkorian. I love the man, and America loved him. But he demonstrated his work with the MGM Grand and what he did with boxing that he could not have done with other auspices or other dimensions of things, because boxing relates to your heart, your confidence, your courage. You know what I mean? So all those things that we perpetuate and use as Thomas Jefferson and the founding fathers, Kurt emulated and imitated them.
And
in action, indeed.
You were obvious. You're still at the age of 93. You are very much still a promoter. Back in the day, you were the promoter, the one with the loudest megaphone. And Kirk, meanwhile, he was always behind the scenes. He didn't want to talk. He wanted to stay away from the bright lights, which was kind of a experience in itself, considering these events were happening at his casinos. Did you ever encourage him or push him like, hey, we need you to kind of be the promoter of these events too? Or was he fine with the role that he had?
He was the master of with the role that he had and that he did. You know, don't forget you couldn't tell him what to do. He was telling you what to do. But what he did, he didn't even go into the auspices of telling you what to do. He did what was best. You know what I mean? To emulate and to imitate and to initiate things that would be good. That would be I have guys out of Cleveland. It was a great band. It is the OJs, and so when just like that, the lady that wrote the national anthem for our great country of America, I adopted the three songs from the OJs that demonstrated boxing and what I and Kurt Kerkorian would be able to do. They say, and the titles of those songs was, they smile in your face when all the time they want to take your face, the backstabber, and money. You want me to sell their body, you know what I mean, and then give the people what they want. And so I learned to give the people what they want, you know what I mean, because when you get screwed or you get double crossed or backstabbed, they be sitting right beside you, and they play that word that is an infamous word that many people don't underestimate the power. And that's a word called jealousy. And jealousy is a tremendous handicap to many things and many people that will try to do different things, and is a blocker and a detriment to whom possesses it against others. You know what I mean? So this is what it is. But the national anthems of boxing is, the smile in your face when all the time they want to take your place, the backstabber, the betrayer. He's not a Judas Iscariot, you know what I mean, for the 30 pieces of silver or whatever, you know what I mean. And he dealt with the money. So money becomes that source of motivating source to do bad with, not to do good with. It has a semblance of the sin of darkness. You know what I mean? And to give the people what they want is the bright light that removes the sin of darkness or puts a block on it temporarily, to be able to do what we're doing. And it's illustrated and demonstrated in the election that just passed on November the 5th. But that was 4 years of working undercover, inwardly, and outwardly with the people within their minds and what they conceived and what they digested in the mental atmosphere to find out the appropriateness of the system that we were now governed by. And so it's we got to keep working and keep praying and now fulfill those promises that were so courageously made. You know what I mean? And the genius of that type of leadership rests and reside with the spiritually touched president forthcoming in January, Donald John Trump.
And just like Trump, just like Krikorian, I mean, Trump's not in his 90s, but Krikorian was. Bob Arum is in his 90s, and you guys are still operating at the peak of your powers and still involved in the day-to-day operations. You personally, Don, what motivates you to have the same vigor, the enthusiasm that you did in your heyday as you do now?
The love of the people. The love of the people is what you said is a wholeheartedly it's wholeheartedly heartfelt activity to be able to deal with what is real. The love of the people, because it's the people. It's my most important asset. I'm a promoter of the people, by the people, and for the people. And my magic lies in my people's eyes. So this is what we deal with when it's real. And so, and that's why I love Trump, because he loves America, he loves the American people. And I mean, and I will support him. I will support him all the way down the line. Not him, support the people. And he happens to be a leader with an ingenious mind to be able to deal with the leadership. And leadership is impeccable and is a wonderment. You know what I mean? So, hey, that's why I'm talking to you.
And it feels like the 1980s all over again for you, right, Don? Right, Don King? It's Donald Trump's in office.
The normalcy has been for me. You know, not only the 80s. When I graduated from high school, I went to the school of hard knocks and broken dreams with the mobsters and the gangsters. I didn't go to Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge. You know what I mean? And Princeton. You know what I mean? I came from the opposite side because I got taught by them of what life was and what the reality of life is for those who count. And so where others have got the education, the benefit of going to Harvard and Yale and Princeton, you know, Oxford and Cambridge, they learn through the book learning and what it is. I learned from the street and then from people that were academically, mentally appraised to bear witness to the upward mobility and elevation of the people. Plato, Socrates, you know, Denmark Vesey, you know, all of these people that were feel it in their heart what it was and be able to deal with the mind-boggling psyche of development and growth. And so this is what the difference is between the reality and reality, truth versus the untruth, with the lies and distortions of truth.
Right. And when I mentioned it's the 1980s all over again, what I meant was here we are, Donald Trump, very much still in the limelight, a president of the United States, Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul, and you very much still a boxing promoter. Feels like nothing's changed.
Well, you know, I'm a peace ambassador too, because you know Nelson Mandela appointed me the peace ambassador way back when I was visiting. I visited South Africa and I visited his home, and then Shimon Peres, you know, he anointed me the peace ambassador, and so that I could be able to serve for the betterment, you know, for peace in Israel and the Middle East. And so, you know, all of these different things, and then several other countries got on board, you know, to give me the title, you know, to give me the title of what I emulated, you know, in bringing people together, not splitting them up and dividing them with hatred and fear and violence, you know what I mean? But they're trying to bring them together with love and understanding and togetherness, you know what I mean? So these are the things that we have to do. So, and I did this coming from high school, trying to get to go to college to be a Clarence Darrow, you know what I mean, and to be a lawyer. And throughout my lifetime and the history of my evolution, you know, things came to pass that, you know, that I never knew never knew how they existed. So then when I go to the penitentiary, I get sentenced to the penitentiary. And so I get my degree of education in the penitentiary, you know what I mean? So, and I graduated summa cum laude out of the University of the penitentiary, you know what I mean? To learn what greatness truly is the respect and the honor for others, you know what I mean? Rather than selfishness and thinking I. There is no I in team. It's TEAM. No I in team. Working together works. And so, in doing this here, it enabled me to still be standing while others have fallen, because in my own estimation, I never thought I'd get past 50 years. 50 years, you know, because I defied all those who disclaim the dignity of America, the dignity of mankind, and manhood, you know, unity, solidarity, togetherness, love of the people, dealing with the people from a perspective of upward mobility and elevation, rather than downward with the demonizing and detrimentally destroying them and the honorable things that they stand for. And so this is what Biden had done, and yet he was still claiming getting the honor of the black vote. And so that's why we fought so hard during the period of his administration to re-educate, and educate the people of color and the poor white people, that they were taken, and the white woman, whom the system claims to own, and deal with it like they own her, they own the black people, and so they take it for granted, as that it belongs to them without doing anything for them, to give them equal rights, or to give them the support and of the Constitution of the United States. So we got a lot to learn, we got a lot to do, but you got to be humble, and you got to be able to believe, and you got to believe in God and have the faith in God that to carry us through, and make America great again.
And as far as your career, Don, your boxing career, what would you say is the crowning achievement of your boxing career as a promoter?
Well, your crowning achievement is for the love of the people. The love of the people, and that comes through with a guy named Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali he was tremendous. He was the greatest of all times, and he proved it by putting his life on the line, and putting his life on the line and saying to friend and foe alike, I believe in this, and they want to put him in jail for what they call it, the draft dodging and whatever, and they convicted him and sentenced him to 5 years. But the Supreme Court of the United States, thank God Almighty, reverse that decision, and then give me an opportunity to make him champion again, and in so doing, lead the world, and saying, yes, it ain't about me, it's about us, we. That's where that we the people come from, and how it came into play.
And I'll leave you with this, Don. It's been a great conversation and interview, and I'm thankful for you giving me the time to share all of your incredible insights. What is your message to the people? What do you want them to know about Don King today in 2024, age of 93? What do you want the people to know about you moving forward?
That I love the people, I love you, and I respect you. I have nothing but honor and dignity for you, and that we as a people must come together. When the American people come together, they are unstoppable. And what we want to do here is have your faith in God, and then your family, your country, and your fellow Americans. So, in other words, let us do what we are put on earth to do, and God gave us the choice, to be able to deal with what it is to choose right from wrong, not deal with a system that makes wrong right and right wrong, but to deal with the honor and the love and the understanding and togetherness that's so important to us as a people and as a country. And so we're going to deal with that, and with all the people that other words, that I love you. I love you and respect you, and hold in the deepest honor and respect for you.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. I'm sure you're going to be watching the fight on Friday night, like everyone else. Mike Tyson back in the ring against Jake Paul.
Listen, but what don't you do? Send me a recording of this interview, so I have it for my archive to be able to deal with it. You know what I mean? Because I know you would do what is right, and that's why I had such a great impulse to be able to do this interview with you, because I usually wouldn't do this without having my my recordation of it. You know what I mean? Because others that take it and change the words, and with this sophisticated technology they have today, they can do anything. You know what I mean? So It's please, if you would be kind enough, to send me the recording.
Absolutely, Don. Will do. Wishing you all the best, best of health, and looking forward to seeing you promote some more events in 2025. I know you had a few great shows this year already with Adrian Broner. I know you got one coming up with Noel Gavorkian when he's ready to defend his WBC cruiserweight title. And looking forward to seeing you put on some more events in 2025.
The biggest event is going to be the promotion of this great country called America under the auspices and legendary, sophisticated, genius leadership of Donald John Trump. So let's work together, and working together works. You know what I mean? So let's do it. Let's do it. Make America great again.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.